Good morning. It's Thursday, March 16th, and I'm going to give you a little Bible lesson here. In chapter in the book of Mark, did you know that Jesus not only broke the 5 loaves and 2 fishes for 5,000 people, but he did it again for 4,000 people? He broke 7 loaves. I actually did not realize that until I read that happened at least twice. It's recorded that he gave large amounts of food to large amounts of people, and starting with only a couple loaves of bread. And at one point, they had finished feeding the crowd, and they went across their lake, and they went somewhere else. And the Pharisees were kind of bothering them, so they came back across. And when they did, the disciples forgot to bring the bread, the leftover bread. And they only had just a little bit more than a loaf with them. And so Jesus happened to say to them, take heed, beware of the leaven of the Pharisees and the leaven of Herod. And, they're being practical, talking among themselves like, well, it must be because we have no bread that he said that. But he actually seems like he got a little bit firm with them, because he says in chapter 8, verse 17, why do you reason? Because you have no bread. Do you not perceive or understand? Is your heart still hardened? When I broke the 5 loaves for 5,000, how many baskets full of fragments did you take up? And they said, 12. And he said, when I broke the 7 for the 4,000, how many large baskets full of fragments did you take up? And they said, 7. And then he said to them, how is it you do not understand? And, they're still learning things, and that's all it says. It doesn't say what they said after that or anything. So I kind of came to the conclusion here. And the first thing is, when Jesus is with you, you don't have to worry. He's going to take care of you. I mean, here they are a little concerned that they only have more than a loaf of bread left. And Jesus is with them in actual person. And he just got done breaking 7 loaves of bread and giving it to 4,000 people, and having 12 big fragments of bread left over after the people were full. And so he was a little, I can see he's a little annoyed that they they forgot that so soon, because here he is with them. And if Jesus is with you, he's going to take care of you. And then the second thing is the lesson of the leaven. Now, leaven is kind of like yeast as we know it, and yeast makes bread rise. Now, organic leaven not only makes bread rise, but it will make bread last forever. So you want to get the good natural leaven if you want your bread to last. In fact, you don't have to refrigerate it. It won't dry out, or even if it dries out, it'll still be good to eat. So that's apparently the kind they used back in those days, probably. And so bread was very important. And of course, Jesus, his body represents the bread, so he will last forever. But he was saying, watch out for the leaven of the Pharisees and of Herod. And they didn't understand. And what that is, I looked it up, and what it is leaven can be, first of all, the yeast that makes bread rise, but it also can be a pervasive influence to transform something. It can actually make a whole crowd of people transform and change their minds and influence them. And so I kind of thought about gossip, how one single word of gossip into a crowd, and next thing you know, it's risen to this great big thing, and everybody is thinking this is what's really going on, which is not true. So he is giving us a warning. Watch out for the things that can transform us on the inside or on the outside. Jesus can transform us. And that's what you want to be transformed with the good leaven of Jesus, so that we last forever and he lasts forever. But of course, we know gossip doesn't last forever. It can transform, it can seriously hurt. Um, you know, a crowd, it's also kind of like a disease. One person gets a little disease and it rises and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and more people, and they are transformed by disease. So he is giving them a lesson that the Pharisees and Herod is evil and going to hurt people. And so, but they're thinking, okay, this is just about bread. So in conclusion, if you have Jesus with you, don't worry about things, because as long as he's with you, he can do miracles. He proved them, he showed them, and they didn't see it actually at first. But make sure you see the miracle. Jesus lasts forever, and his leaven is the good kind. Have a great day, and God bless you.